Hello, everybody. Welcome to another episode of the Enigma Mode live stream. That was a lot easier to say than including all of the Path of Magic nomenclature. Today, we're going to be learning all about the trade shelves, which are a group project, I would say, to be honest. There's a lot of things in Path of Magic that maybe somebody made like a little piece for something else and I used. A lot of things I made myself, but there's certain things that I asked other people for help with, and they literally made possible. So what I'm going to show you today, the trade shelves, are something that both Raka and Stakar made possible. I just kind of packaged the things they had been doing into something that was easier for a player to configure. And I'll get into that in a moment. One second. All right. So essentially, Raka had made a lot of different trading options because in Valheim, there's not really an easy way to trade with other players. Because if you think about it, you kind of have to be there. And if you're not there, like you have to trust that people are just going to do something. And really what would be better is if there's an automated process, right? So they had made these chests, and the chests had to be configured with a bunch of say commands like this, like set chest 1 or whatever. The same kind of things you're all used to using in Enigma mode. But when I tried like working with it, I had this feeling that the players need something that they don't have to configure with commands. They just kind of put things in a box and then click it or press a button, basically, right? And so then I started working on the trade shelves. And so I'll make a little demo of one real quick. Because in Enigma mode, it's really easy to make a trade shelf. All you have to do is start with a private chest. So if we mouse over there, I obviously skipped over it. Here we are. So let's make it in the sunlight. And I'm just going to pick a spot like right here. Oh, how we've lost many beehives. They go into the trees. Yeah, actually, no, it's right here. It moved into the tree over there, and it's become an aggressive beehive. So we didn't really lose it. It just moved over here. It looks so natural, to be honest. That script is so simple, but it works quite well. Basically, the bees can target a nearby tree, and sometimes they'll move, just like bees in real life. So that's what happened. We have to like take it down now and rebuild it or buy more. Probably we need more beehives than just 2, to be honest, but even just 2 gives a lot of honey. But getting back onto the trade shelves. So to make a trade shelf in Enigma mode, first you're going to place a private chest, okay? And then it'll get expanded, it'll be bigger, but aside from that, it's normal. And then you walk right up to it and you type say and then shelf. This is going to convert the private chest into a vending shelf. And this is the thing I was talking about. This is what was inspired by things that Raka had been doing for players. And then I designed something and then asked for Dakar for help with the logic. Because this thing has a lot of features. Basically, this is the shelf that the player interacts with. Right? You put things in here to trade them for something else. But then there's these 3 private chests: supply, price, and profit. So the owner can open these up, but no one else can. Make sense? So let's say that I want to sell roasted serpent meats. Okay, we're going to put 2 roasted serpent meat in the supply. And let's say for some reason I also wanted to sell, I don't know, honey. Okay? Now, you can have multiple supply, but you can only have 1 price. And our price is going to be 1 ashwood. Okay? So basically, it's going to start selling serpent meat. It's going to be like 1 ashwood gets you 1 serpent meat. And then it'll notice it runs out, and then it'll move to honey. So I'll test it to show you, but you load up your supply, and then you load up your price, right? This is what each transaction will cost the user. Okay? And then you punch it twice. And you should see it react. And then after a couple seconds, you can look at the chest and you'll see now it says serpent meat cooked for sale, 1 blackwood each, and then 2 remaining. So let's give it 1 blackwood. And then boom, look at that. It turned the blackwood into serpent meat. Now let's do it again. Boom. It turned the blackwood into serpent meat. And if we wait, it should actually like update itself. There we go. You see now it moved on to the next sale. So now if we give it blackwood, it's not going to give us serpent meat anymore. It's going to give us honey. Make sense? Because it still has something in the supply chest. So if we keep giving it blackwood, eventually it's going to run out of everything. So if we do that, it's all empty now. There's nothing in stock. And then look, it just goes out of stock. Right? So it really automates the whole process so that you can set up your sale and then you can leave. You're offline. You're not even around. Other people find it and they can then interact with your trade shelf. And then when you come back, you can open up the profit chest, which only you can access, and that'll give you all of the profit, which is whatever you charge them in the price chest. So there's no items being created here. It just kind of seems like that to the user, but what's actually happening is stuff is being moved around in the chests, right? So I got the serpent meat and the honey by trading in the ashwood, and now the ashwood is in this private chest that can only be looted by the owner. Welcome, Gustavo. Welcome, welcome. Gustavo asked some questions earlier about the trade shelves, so it worked out perfectly because I just happened to be featuring the trade shelves in today's live stream. And so what we're going to do is we're actually going to go on an adventure because this has been a thing in Enigma mode for a while, and some of the other players, particularly Fishmaster or Give Me Acid and Arizosa, have been working on like an area that has trades and stuff. It's really cool. I checked it out earlier. So today we're going to go on an adventure. We're going to take a cart and kind of get some resources on the way to their trading outpost where they've set up a couple of these trading posts. And I can show you like how players have used them so far. Because once you get it working, it's awesome. And again, I just wanted to make sure you understand, like, yes, I am running Enigma, so to speak, but Enigma is an accumulation of many people's work. And without Raka and Dakar in particular for the logic, like he thought of all these extra things, like he makes it check all these other slots. He made the part that makes it say it's out of stock and move to the next item. Like as you saw earlier, we had serpent meat and then honey, and it started selling the serpent meat, it finished, and then it moved to selling the honey. It's really advanced, fancy stuff. And that is all Dakar. Like really, I just packaged it and designed this thing and made it accessible to the player, right? By helping guide like, okay, the player needs visuals. They need to be able to just be like, okay, I put the thing in the chest, I put the other thing in the other chest, and then I punch it. And then boom, it does a thing. Like that's like, it's a lot simpler than the player having to research how they activate each chest and do these kind of commands and do all that stuff. That's too like black hat. If that makes sense. And that's something you have to think a lot about when you're scripting. Because when you get deep into scripting, you'll start like finding it easy to do things that normal players just can't do. They don't know how to do them, or it's not convenient for them. So you have to really make sure that you keep in mind like what a normal player is experiencing, and that every extra thing they have to learn is another point where they might get overwhelmed and give up on something. Makes sense? So there's some other stuff we were doing around the base, and as you can see, I was like in the middle of revamping this kitchen so it has more space, right? So now we can cook things as long as it's not raining. So we can cook a lot more stuff, but I'm not going to go too much into that here. I'll show you all the I'll show you all the little house I've been working on, and then we'll go off on our adventure. The good thing is now we actually have a decent amount of food, so what I'm going to do here, I have some food in my house. I'm going to show you the little changes we made to the village, and then we'll go off and we'll go find the trading hub. And the trading hub is actually something that all of you who play on Path of Magic will be able to find kind of early on. I'm going to show you how to get there from the center of the world. So first I'm going to leave the village, go to the center of the world, and then I'm going to go from the center of the world to the trading hub so you can all kind of learn how to get there, because it's actually pretty close to the starting area. But for now, we're in this plains village, which is like kind of on the way to the deep north, basically. And so I've made the central area to just like pile up wealth. And if you've noticed, if you played on Enigma, normally when you run over a coin pile, it banks it. But there's actually a command people don't usually know about called no bank. So if you type no bank, it'll target all the nearby coin piles and make them unbankable. So you can't just deposit it by running over it. That's what you do if you want to make a visual coin pile. And then I've just been like building all of these chests for empowering, so we can literally see like, okay, we have the materials for 7 empower attempts. Makes sense? And this was inspired by, if you've ever played that game, it's like Age of Empires, Stronghold. Yeah, Stronghold. They have these like stone platforms where they just pile up all their resources. So I was like, what if we just had like a stone platform where we just piled a bunch of stuff? That's what I've been trying to do. So now every time I get more coins, I'm just going to build them up here and see if we can make this like big pile of money and wealth or something. But then under that, of course, is all of this nonsense. And I'm trying to just like consolidate all the building resources kind of into the center of the town. So then people can just like kind of build more reliably, because people use the craft from chest mod, which I'm also using. So those are town updates. The little cooking area is more advanced. This area over here is now a place to store building materials and wealth. Then I prettified this area since we last played, and I've been working on my little abode here. So we can go in. And I had a lot of fun with this, to be honest. I really enjoyed using the ashwood pieces. I didn't realize how cool they are to build with. There's something about the contrast between the ashwood pieces and the normal wooden pieces that I really enjoy. So I had a lot of fun with that. But give me a moment here. I just need to take some coal over to the base here for these lamps. I always end up doing really open stuff, to be honest. I don't like making closed spaces in Valheim. So I'll probably change this a bunch, but I found that you can be like fully sheltered and everything with all these gaps. As long as you use a lot of the ashwood pieces, then it like acts like a wall, even though you can see through it, which is pretty cool. So this is just like a pretty basic area. I'll spawn in, and I'll show you one more trick I discovered. So right now it's night, so I can at least get in the bed. And apparently if you make the bed and you put it really close to an item, you'll clip above the item, right? So if we get into the bed and then we get out of the bed, look where we are. We are just like here in the center, not this exact center, but we're in this room, right? And so I learned this trick that if you put your bed that way, then when you die, you just come back and you're right there, and it feels really cool. I like it. Like if we just wait, yeah, okay, I'm good. I always have to double check. I'm like, did I set my spawn before I just kill myself? So now we'll just wake up and we'll be in a room and we won't see the bed. Make sense? And for me, like, I like doing it that way. One, it helps protect your bed. That way it doesn't get destroyed as much. But like, you can look down and see where it is, right? But you can imagine how you could do this to like make yourself spawn in a spot where the bed isn't taking up the visual space. So you can sort of make a hidden spawn spot by doing that. And I thought that was a cool little discovery. Aside from that, it's a pretty basic platform house, right? We got some like decorative trim up here. I've been having a lot of fun with the ashwood trim, to be honest. And then I can just run through here to get through this area, etc., etc. I had fun with that. But for now, we're going to eat up. Let's grab the ultra cart and make sure that we have some food for our adventure, because I'm going to be traveling a ways in today's video, because I need to get back to the center of the world, and then I need to go from the center of the world to the trading hub. Hello, Flora Snow. Welcome, welcome, welcome. I see that you're a Twitch viewer. I hope that you're not going to ask me about anything to do with Discord. You're asking suspicious questions to see if I read the chat, and this is exactly what those people do. I don't think you're one of those people. I don't think you would do that to me. You're not going to bait me into thinking that you're an actual viewer and then just try and share your Discord link with me. You wouldn't do that to me. I know you wouldn't. I know you. You're cool. You're one of the cool people, so you wouldn't. Nah, you wouldn't do that to me. So we're going to go off on our adventure. But before we go off on the adventure, I need to make sure I got supplies. Definitely going to need an ultra cart. And that looks bad. What is happening here? What? Where did they all come from? This escalated so quickly. How? What's... what? The door was shut. What is going on? How? Wait, maybe you all saw that and it made more sense to you than to me. I did not see how they got in. I have no idea. They were inside. What on earth was that? Holy smokes. I'm not even ready. I don't even have my rested buff. I was not trying to leave the base. Oh gosh, maybe they'll try and... Yeah, here we go. They'll try and destroy these skeletons. I'm just... What on earth was that about? What was that? I thought I left the door open. But then the door was shut. Did they just run over? Maybe I made these walls too low and they just like jumped over it. I don't know, to be honest. That was something. That was definitely something. I don't have any arrows. I got a bloodstone somehow. And alright. How do I even do this? I need a moment to reflect on my reality here. Let's see. So basically the goblins pathfind out to the other side there. Oh, I have wind run? Ah, that's why I'm so zippy. How did I get... So much happened there. Like, I don't even know. I thought I was about to talk about how the supplies... I needed to put the supplies in a cart. And then maybe I was gonna get scammed by somebody into thinking they were my friend and they were gonna just share their info on Discord. But then a whole bunch of stuff happened, and now like I'm just running. I don't really know what's going on anymore. I got wind run. The goblins live in the town now, apparently. Alright, first things first. Okay, yeah, that's a big goblin. I'm gonna stay away from him. Big goblin. I'm gonna hide in the workshop. Yeah, I'm probably safe here. Maybe. Alright, let's repair a little bit and reflect upon our condition here. Oh, hey, we can make a nimble anklet. When did I get a Surtling trophy? I don't know. I'm gonna make this one, though. I've been wanting to try out one of the trinkets, but I haven't used any of them yet, so... Here we are. We now have the nimble anklet, which is a movement speed increase, supposedly. So, I love movement speed. We'll see how that goes. You want... Look. Here, if I show you, watch this. Look at my skills. Run. Basically, I just run. Run is 47. Everything else is like nothing. Alright. I'm rested. I got a little stuff here. But like, I need to get out of this place. I need to make some arrows. The situation's looking rough, Hal. I don't, there's a lot of goblins out there. Are you in your house? You are. You're smart. Oh no, there's a... Uh-oh. 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 Alright. Need some arrows. I'm gonna make some arrows. Let's just make some arrows and, needle arrows. Oh, we got poison arrows? Nice. Should be solid. Gonna need a bunch of arrows for this adventure. And I'm just gonna hope... I'm gonna hope the goblin just kind of leave me alone. I hear a lot of goblin laughing around me. And, a shaman laughing. That part's kind of scary. But so far, they've let me be. So let's just keep going here. I'm just gonna keep crafting arrows. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Something sounds bad. These poison arrows, these are what I want, to be honest. These are really gonna make or break. I basically can't fight at the moment unless I have... unless I have arrows. I don't have any good enough weapons. I keep making a silver dagger, and then I freaking try and empower it, and I lose it. So I've lost like 6 silver daggers, and now I don't have any daggers. It's my impoverished life. All right, we got our silver. Okay, not silver. Our poison arrows. Gonna actually use quick slots here. No, that's not what I want. Okay. Ah. I see some things happened while I was... No, I got more silver. I did. I got more silver. The blacksmith, interesting. I guess, yeah, that was the lesson that I realized was gonna be learned. I put the blacksmith near wood, and now all that wood is coal. Yeah, and half of this... Wait, did you kill the goblins, Hal? Did you take care of them? I just kind of went in here and made all these arrows, and by the time I finished, the back of this building is just gone. The blacksmith also appears to be gone. The foreman's okay. The car's doing well. Oh! Something killed me. I don't even know what killed me. But it killed me and the foreman. I heard a lox growling. I think it may be that. Well, that was eventful. Alright, I guess when we get back, we got a mission. Gotta remake. Actually, Hal was talking about extending the crafting shop. This crafting station. I guess you don't need to worry about that now. Alright, I'm gonna sit here. Let's get this rested buff. Now, I don't... Oh, wait a second. You're right there. Yeah, it did sound like a lox. I didn't see the lox, though. I just heard a lox. And then I died and the foreman died. I don't know how that happened. Yeah, lox are terrifying, to be honest. They're absolutely terrifying. One second. I'm gonna get my tea. Sounds bad. I hear some bad things. It's daytime now, though. Hey, the Lox is underneath me. You almost got him, though. That Lox is, like, super dead. Yeah, let me get my body back. I died over here with all my weapons. How did he get? Look at this. That Lox. He just assassinated me. Alright. Now I have something I can actually shoot at him. Did we get him? Nope, still there. Alright, now the Lox is dead. Where's that brute? Let's see. I just saw your message, Arizosa. Arizosa says, when I'm opening R2 Modman, I'm getting a failed to initialize settings storage on a red screen. I don't know what that message means. Maybe... Oh, hey, you found the brute. I see. Dang! Man, they're after your hens. We should take this guy outside. Uh-oh. I poisoned you. Oh, you got him. Okay, nice. That was solid. Hey, your place is in decent condition. It looks like it lost a door and something else. And your fence is messed up. But you were talking, Halloa, you wanted to extend the workshop. I think that fate has said that you should extend the workshop because it did the first part for you. Look at that. Maybe our workshop should be made of stone. Wood's very temporary on this server. I've noticed that. Wood is like, it just vanishes like so easily. What's all this stuff here? Oh, loot from monsters. Okay, I see. Interesting. Ah, Arizosa got it working. Awesome, that's great. The nonsense chest. What nonsense chest? Oh no, I just moved stuff around. I don't think we actually lost. The nonsense chest is over there in the workshop. We didn't lose that part. No, we lost the forge half of, or the forge third of the workshop. That's where it went. Oh wait, I saw a brute. He was leaving. But still, that's mighty threatening here. I made this area, Halloa. It's just like building supplies, basically. So all the woods. That way I put it in the center so you can access it like whatever building you're in, if you're in your place or the workshop or our area, etc. But now I got a bunch of bullshit. You know, playing Valheim, I understand why people get frustrated with the inventory. I mean, even in Enigma mode, like, we've got a lot of options for things, and it's still like, I mean, even just from what I've been playing on the stream, I've had to spend maybe like half the amount of time I spend streaming, like in the base, organizing, moving stuff around, figuring out where to put it. It's like, yeah, I see why it's a big part of the game, you know, like a huge part of the time. Hey, what are you doing, pack leader? No. All right, it's okay. I got poison arrows. I can actually fight this guy now, unlike previously. And I left this little clearing here. It should make it easier for us to fight. Oh, now I have adrenaline? Hey, I've never done adrenaline before. Wait, I gotta switch. That's right, because I don't want to poison Hal. Oop. You do so much more damage than I do. Yeah, I haven't really empowered anything or progressed pretty much. It's okay though. I'll just keep peppering him with these arrows. Nice. I was gonna build something here, but maybe it's better to just keep it flat so we have like a spot to fight monsters where there's not something that they'll just destroy, right? Probably a good idea. Alright. Now you see why we don't need raids in Enigma mode. The monsters just, well, okay, of course, granted, this town is designed in that way, because, as you can see, like, the monsters can just path around, right? And they also break through the wall and stuff. But I personally, I enjoy Valheim more if monsters can trickle in sometimes, and there's, like, events, and then, like, they destroy part of something, and you build out in a new way. It's just like, ideally, they realize the monster should, like, be like, oh, I destroyed 20 pieces. I'm gonna leave now. Does that make sense? I wish I could just make it that way. Because then you get the best of both worlds. You get the monsters interacting in your base, but you don't get the part where it's like, okay, you've destroyed enough. You don't need to level every building I made. It's okay. Calm down, Mr. Ground Pound Troll. You know what I mean? But for now, that is a tangent. I gotta look at this ultra cart here. I guess I know what I'm gonna do. I'm just gonna take all this. We're gonna make sure I got enough food. 10, 10, 10. We got arrows. Let's organize this a little bit here. All right, arrows, arrows. Now I need to dump all of this nonsense into the other nonsense chest. And then can just go. I want to go with a fresh cart. Nothing in it, nothing crazy. You can still see we got a bunch of stuff here. And these chests, they don't get noticed by the, they don't get noticed by a lot of the, like, auto chest mods and that kind of thing, because they're too deep. So, you have to actually, like, put chests that are normal, like these ones, they're more normal. So the auto mods can see these, but they tend to miss the stuff that's, like, in these really, really deep chests. So it's kind of funny how even if you give players really deep chests, it doesn't take away the need to organize, even with craft from chests. So, like, I see how they could balance all that stuff into the game, definitely. And I'll just do the very minimum here. We're going to take all of our crap from the ultra cart and then dump it into the nonsense chest. But then I'm going to take all the money related stuff and I'm going to put it in our treasury, which we have now built, where all of the town's wealth is stored, so to speak. There's this whole banking system for, like, individual wealth. But apparently I like fundamentally can't even think that way. So this time I just want people to take the coins. Because in my head, the more coins I have, the less coins matter to me. So I'm always very hesitant to actually keep things and not use them, if that makes sense. But anyway, that's a whole other tangent I can go on when we're actually moving and I don't need to focus. So what I'm going to go with here is just take the wealth that may have gotten stored here. Doesn't really look like that much, to be honest. Yeah, these things are money. What was that noise? What's that noise? It's a creepy noise. Ah, it's you. Okay, okay. You're doing something weird over there. Sounds like you're fighting... Ah, you were fighting a ghost, probably. Yeah. If you're over there, I guess we should put this ore here. You'll probably want this. There's some metal. And where was that ore? I swear I saw some. Wasn't there some silver ore, like, right here? Am I tripping? Must be tripping. I swear I saw some ore. Oh, no, it probably went out of the chest into the thing over here, maybe? I don't know. I'm not sure what happened there. But that's okay. What I was trying to do, actually, was get the metal over here, but now I'm stuck. We're just gonna put it in this cart for now. There we go. So what I was trying to explain is if you have the metal in those other chests, it won't get noticed. So if you're playing with other people, you should kind of like move the things they're using into the normal chests. So then their like craft from chest mods will notice them basically. All right, that's good. And now there's all this stuff. Do I want to take any of this? The wolf spear is definitely nice. I'm gonna have that, and everything else I'll just put in the nonsense chest here. Oops, oops. Oh, I have Hallowa's. I always do that to Hallowa, I'm sorry. I log out with the cultivator. Should put it in the proper place. All good though, all good. Nice. Inventory management. Did I swear there was some ore here. I gotta figure out if that actually happened, because if something gets deleted, or maybe it was put into one of these things. Let's see. I don't think so. Well, all good. We'll figure it out later. Hey, nice. That's looking cool. Alright, so now I have all the wealth stuff back over here. We're just going to open up this cargo crate. This is where I've been putting the loose wealth, these kind of things. Except we're going to take some coins because we're going to use the trading shelves. So basically, I'll leave with just coins in the cart and some food and some arrows. Should be good. Nice. That's just random stuff. Okay. Let me make sure I got everything here. Got a bit rested, got some FUD. And I have some random stuff here. I'll just drop that off. Okay, cool. Alright, Hallowa, good luck. I'm off. Maybe it'll be peaceful for you. The activity level is sort of exponentially based on players. So you'll notice, like, when you're around one person, less random stuff happens. And that's not on purpose. I didn't, like, make it that way. It's just when there's two players, there's more triggering going on. And that ends up causing issues. There's a dead cart out here. It's got some iron, some cool stuff in it. This looks like it was your... Oh, maybe you were... Something happened here. Is that what happened? Is that when all those monsters showed up earlier? It looks like you had a cart with some iron in it. And it's all out here in these cargo crates, Hallowa. Just so you know. I mean, now I'm passing them. I've got I'm off on my adventure. On my journey to my death. Oh, I'm actually pretty prepared here. I got a wolf fang spear so I can get bubbled. I think I'll be good. So let's see. I still haven't gone down that path. It's a way to get flint. I was actually hoping someone else would find it. But for now, we're actually gonna head back to the starting area. And once we get to the starting area, once we get to the starting area, I'm gonna show you how to access this like trading hub area that Fishmaster and Arizosa have been working on. And it looks really cool. I love all the cool buildings you guys have all been making. It's really impressive, to be honest. But not just those two, but like all the people building on the server. I've learned so much just from like seeing the different ways people build. People all have their own kind of style. You know, some people like making kind of cozy things. You know, so like there's other builders who make more kind of like structural stuff, if that makes sense. And so now I've like seen all these different styles, and it's really cool. It's definitely, if you ever want to just like explore a server on a strong character you've already made, I encourage you to join Path of Magic and just like find a path and check it out. Especially if you go down the main path, because there's so much history there. People have been playing on and off for like a year and a half, building all sorts of different things. So there's quite literally hundreds of bases that you can find, and it's a great way to just see the ways that players build, the different styles, and if you want some inspiration for something you want to do. Yeah, it's a cool way to do it. And for now, we're gonna go back to the Enigma path, and you'll probably see by watching me stream that traveling down the Enigma paths is generally much faster than traveling down the main paths. That's mostly because the Enigma paths are very direct. They pretty much go straight to one place, whereas the main paths are quite wriggly. They're made by players, essentially. So players or me, they go kind of more with the terrain. They're more aesthetic and also more accessible by monsters. This obviously needs some work. It's all cratered. But you'll see what I'm talking about later on. Here is one of the Enigma paths, and I guess I'll talk a bit about the paths in general, because it's not like we started with these sky path contraptions. There's actually a long history of development and different iterations of different ideas that led to that happening. Because when Path of Magic first started, there wasn't any scripting. I know that's hard to imagine now, but it wasn't. It was just another Valheim server. It was different in the sense of a vial, huh? Alrighty, I see. Well, Mr. Vial, it's okay. I think it'll be alright. Oh my gosh, these guys are fast. Oh my gosh, I can't even outrun him! Oh my god. It's okay. I guess that means I have to... If I keep blocking... Holy smokes, this thing is brutal! I don't think I should even try fighting it. No, thank you. Holy shit. Oh, the stairs have betrayed me! Uh-oh. Ah! How do I do this? Okay, there we go. Now, I just... Oh, God, he's so fast! Holy shit! Run! Okay, I think I'm good now. I think I'm good. I just gotta get out of here. I destroyed the stairs. Oh, no, he just ran over it! No! No! I'm gonna die. That thing is brutal! Holy shit! It freaking flies! I'm not used to that pathfinding. It hovers. Oh man. I gotta collect my thoughts for a second. I totally did not expect there to be a vial like on the back. Woo, okay, all right. It's at least I'm set up better this time, right? I got some food. I can get a rested buff. I don't think it'll be that bad. I was just about to say how generally the Enigma paths are safer. And they are, actually. It's just like, you can imagine how a path on the ground has a lot more chances for a vial to wreck you. Like, oh, that thing's so fast. Holy shit. I'm glad, though. I mean, that was a genuinely terrifying experience. And like, whenever I have an experience with a monster where I actually feel scared, and like, I mean, I got so scared, I jumped to my death to avoid the monster. That's just ridiculous. Like, that's basically exactly what I want. to be honest. So I was in the wrong spot there. Let me make sure I get a rested buff. And I was gonna, when I actually get back to the path, I see that that's a whole altercation to deal with. Because I can't run faster than it, so I have to get it off of the path. And then, yeah, then it'll be alright. Yeah, unless someone else saves the, baits the vial, but I actually enjoy running around, and it gives me a good sense of what I want to do for the monster, the behavior update. I want to work on variety for monster behavior and do it in a way where instead of it happening all the time everywhere, it happens in certain areas, and how do I put it? It gives them flavor, if that makes sense. I've noticed, like, the plains, for example, you've probably noticed if you've been watching the stream, there's these zippy goblin that are super fast, right? The goblin shaman, the tribunal variant of the goblin shaman is much faster. So you've probably seen that show up, and like, where's it coming from, right? But then also there's just normal goblins show up, right? That's the same as in normal Valheim. But then there's those pack leaders as well. So I've noticed that gives it kind of a flavor, but it's only 2 variants or maybe 3. What I want to do is make it so maybe there's like 9 to 16 variants of monster behaviors in each biome, and some of them overlap and some don't. I think that'll help make the monster fighting more of like a rich and varied experience. Because I've noticed, like, what I really enjoy, like with the Goblin Shaman, for example, at first I thought they were unfair. But then I realized that, like, as long as you avoid them, and when they teleport, they lose their bubble. So you can just, like, well, sorry, when they teleport, they forget you're there. So you can just go where they're teleporting, because it telegraphs and you see it, and you get a chance to kill them then. So it's totally possible to handle them, right? And you just have to think about it and go about it in a certain way. And so I think on this monster kind of combat update, I want to do something like that. So that's why I've been kind of paying a lot of attention to how I feel and running around the monsters and how that is, etc., etc. Because the vial is actually an example of a thing that I've learned you can really only do once, really, and that's give something a bunch of health. It doesn't really make things feel better or deeper. Oh hey, he's not even on the path anymore. That's fantastic. But what I'm trying to explain is that, like, the vial right now, for example, it kind of functions. If you've ever played Resident Evil, there's these monsters that just will kill you and you have to run away from them. And it sort of functions like that. Can he just jump up? No, okay, he had the stairs before. It looks like I'm fine now. So that can work, but you can imagine how if there's a bunch of monsters like that, then the vial no longer feels like it has a unique identity. You see what I'm getting at? And that's what I've learned is, like, every monster, every variant, it needs to feel like it really is its own unique identity. Not just something that, you know, can happen in every biome to every possible monster. And I've seen that in other games, actually, where they'll add variants, but if you're not careful, let's say you have 16 different variants, and you could just imagine a variant as, like, you know, a hard monster has more health, a faster monster, a slower monster, whatever. You know, just different behaviors. Let's say there's 16 different kinds. If you have those 16 different kinds spawning in all biomes, in all parts of the game, this thing happens where the player gets used to it and the sense of identity for each variant is weakened. So it's like they need a strong association of, like, Oh, that variant. That's those things in the plains are like that a lot. And I don't know how to put it, but it needs this adjustability, or not adjustability, this uniqueness. And I think that's actually something Iron Gate themselves handles pretty well. If you've noticed, like, yeah, they do follow a linear progression, but then there's certain things that they just don't have in that biome. They don't just blindly follow every single time. Like, oh, okay, every biome needs a dungeon. Every biome needs this. And I personally like that because I think that for each biome to have more of a strong sense of identity, it needs to have a lot of things that are different about it that are interesting and fun, right? So obviously that's kind of tricky to pull off, especially like I happen to say that while I'm in the swamp, which is probably the most hated biome of all of them, I would wager. Mostly just because of how dark it is. In all honesty, I don't think the swamp itself is like bad. It's just very, very, very dark. So, like, even if you look at the ways people build in the swamp, they tend to build like things that are well lit from the inside and those interior kind of things, right? Sometimes people go for like silhouettes, but it's just the nature of the swamp itself is so dark and dreary that it kind of suppresses the vibe that makes some of the things that are enjoyable in Valheim fun. I'm not saying there's no reason to build in the swamp though. I'm just saying that there's definitely benefit for each biome having a clear sense of identity. And that was one of the lessons I learned early on with Enigma. Because when I started adjusting things in Path of Magic, I would like make different things happen in different places. So for example, later on it was like black metal scraps are in the Mistlands, black metal scraps are rare. Instead of being super common, you get other stuff and you don't get as many scraps as you want, so you have to do other things. It's not what you're used to. Um, but what I found in doing that is if you just have the same rules and they apply everywhere, it's pretty boring. Like, you really do have to keep in mind that each biome is a different biome and cater the changes that you make to be in that biome. So I'm not saying you have to make completely unique changes, but you should make the outcomes different. Like the chance of the outcomes should be different in certain biomes. And biomes should have themes of their resources, if that makes sense. So this is something I can improve a lot in Path of Magic and Enigma, but if you've noticed, like now, if you've played recently, when you kill goblins in the plains, you get loads and loads of ashwood. And that was done because I wanted to make a clear distinction of like, this is a place that provides a lot of a particular kind of resource. And that was after realizing that if you make it so there's more resources everywhere, it doesn't feel right, at least to me. Like, because that's how Enigma Mode started, basically, where like every time you kill something, there's wood and stone and metal and these things, but it just didn't feel right when it is actually like that everywhere. It's like you can add drops, but there needs to be a mixture that changes along with the biome. That seems to be really important. Just give me a moment here. I'm sipping on my tea. One of the sheer mountains. This is Halder's Mountain. Very recognizable, to be honest. It's, I think, the biggest mountain in the game. This angle actually makes it hide itself because it looks like it's just this mountain. But there's actually a whole, like, mountain range behind it that you can't even see. It's like 3 mountains in one of those huge, huge, huge mountains that's so tall, it actually goes above the skyline. So, like, you go up to the top of it, and you can see the clouds below you. It's pretty cool. I think there's a charred fortress up there or something. I haven't been up there in a long time. It's quite a mountain. I guess now I can talk a little bit about the evolution of the paths. Because you see right now, this is an Enigma path, right? And yeah, I know I had a little situation with the vial earlier. I'd actually never encountered a day vial before, so that that was intense. That thing could fly. It was freaking fast. Now I have a healthy fear of everything. I like it. I like it. Normal vial. Normal vial looks not so brutal. You can imagine that a day vial is a vial that doesn't go away at night. Oh, what a unique name. But as you can see, it's like, it is really a lot safer. I could still get Deathsquito ganked. There's still, you know, ranged enemies. A Goblin Shaman could shoot the bottom of the path and blow it up, and then I burned to my death, right? All completely possible and likely. But compared to running along the terrain, these paths are a lot safer. And I think that's one of the reasons that players have enjoyed the Enigma paths. Because that's something, maybe if you guys want to comment a bit about that, that's something that I have been, like, very interested in learning more about, if that makes sense. Looks like I got something to fix here. Oh, I don't have my dev stuff, so how do I handle this? How do I get... I don't have any wood. So how do I get the cart over this? This is something these paths are all an old system from before. So basically, I need to remake them so that they work properly. One day I accidentally didn't have repair on and it messed everything up. So I don't even know, am I about to yeet this cart over into Oblivion, or am I gonna make it? I don't even know if I can make it this way. I guess we'll see. Nope. It's okay. That cart is yeeted into Oblivion now. I'm just gonna go. I guess I could get back up over here. I might be able to make it work, but I have to be really careful because generally if you get off the path, you're gonna die. You should think that way. It's not always true, but especially like right now, for example, I don't have any empowered gear. I'm super squishy. Most of the other players, yeah, they get stronger gear so they can fight enemies more easily, right? Oh, Nancy. Nancy, you don't love my content. You're one of those fools trying to trick me. Breaking my heart. Alright. I guess I got a little puzzle to figure out for now. There's all these monsters here. I need to get some wood. That works out anyway, because I can take the cart up over there. And I can probably get some wood from that tree. I just need to make sure there's nothing, like, hidden. And then I should be good. Not exploding, huh? Oh, nope. Needed a moment. Alright. My heart. Is that a bunch of wood? Oh, look at that. Some wood and some fish. It's all good. After living in the swamp, or after living in the plains around a bunch of goblins, Droger doesn't seem so bad, to be honest, but what do I know? Hey. Gobbos. It's okay, it's okay. I just gotta fight him in the water. Poor gobbos. It feels kind of bad. Shoot them when they're wet. They're used to the sunny plains and they go out into the swamp and just get ganked. It's almost a tragedy. Whoa, something's behind me. Okay, nothing? No, alright. Now you're seeing a quite literal example of why the Enigma paths are safer than the normal paths. Because normal paths, the enemies are there, right? So they can get to you. Whereas here, look at this. I got a bunch of not what I needed, but that's okay. That's okay. I actually just need a little bit of wood. I guess I have to resort to attacking shrubs with my melee weapons. Maybe I could, no, because I could burn it down. No, I can't even do that. Hey, calm down. What's it? How do I get wood? Oh, I can floor buy it. Ah, yeah, that's what I have to do. Okay, okay, I know what to do. I know what to do. Don't you chase me, Mr. Droger. Don't do it. It's okay. It's okay, I got a wolf spear. I'll be fine. Uh-oh. Okay. Yeah, so if you didn't know this, the wolf spear. Hey, saved by a death skeeto? Oh, that's so kind. Yeah, I've never been saved by a death skeeto before. This is a first time experience for me. Hey, hey, thank you, Mr. Death Skeeter. You're doing work. Good job. Why don't you, I'll just keep this Droger in between me and you. And then he'll get him. Oh no! It backfired. I guess that all works out though. That didn't explode. There we go. Okay. Yeah, it looks like sometimes things are laggier, so they happen later, and you have to be very careful when you're dealing with explosive arrows. Like that right there, I just got rid of my own bubble because of the way I did that. Oh, I keep thinking my adrenaline is my stamina. Ah, silly me. Okay, block. What happened to my shield? Oh no, I threw it. There we go. My spear, that's what I meant. Alright, I got bubble shield. Yeah, here you go. Sucker. Oof. Alright, alright. There we go. Now, I still need some wood. I need wood to be able to get the cart over that gap. And this is why I need to resettle the paths on Path of Magic, because they're all kind of old. The people who play on Enigma Mode get the benefit of playing on something that's been play tested on something else already. But the people on Path of Magic have to deal with, like, me just tossing ideas there and trying them for the first time. So it's, like, more problematic, if that makes sense. Uh-oh. Yeah, sucker. Alright. Nice, nice. I guess these blood bags are pretty good. It's nice to be able to hit monsters like leeches with the spear now. It's kind of cool. And sorry, I saw Jake's message. I was so preoccupied by not dying that I didn't respond. Jake said, Amazon servers are down. Been sleeping for 6 hours of my shift. I wonder if any of our games are having issues. Something's going on. I heard Crunchyroll and Roblox are having issues as well. Yeah, you must be right, because when I went to set Restream today, it warned me that their AWS server's down and Restream is having problems. So, I mean, I just ignored that and acted like everything was going to be fine, and I'm streaming. So I don't know what's happening, but I did see a warning in Restream today. Watch me suffer with this cart. I'm gonna get this cart back on the path. I feel confident. It helps having all the equipment and being prepared. Definitely helps. Just make sure not to strike that statue. Okay. Oh, I'm so lucky. I don't even need any wood, do I? Oh, that's so lucky. Yeah, I can make this work. Watch, watch, watch. I just need a hoe. Haha. Yeah. Okay, that was way easier than I thought. I got really lucky with where I fell off there, to be honest. Oh, wait a second. Wait a second. I'm talking about luck. I need to chill. I see what I was about to walk into here. Okay. What's best? I don't know if explosion or poison arrow is better. What? What? Oh no. I thought they heard me punch. Oh no! That's not what I meant to do. Ah, yeah, there's stuff right there. Okay, I see. Oh, whoa, whoa, calm down, calm down. Alright, I'm just going YOLOing it here. I think we can take care of the shaman if I just blow them up. Hey, 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 don't throw fireballs at me. What are you doing? You're so fast, you little devils. Uh-oh. Whoa! Oh god. It's all good. We got him. I love getting them before their bubble goes off. It's so funny. Oh, good stuff, good stuff. Alright. Okay, I guess I should be smart here. Keep that bubble up. You can tell what happened there. There was a guck tree and it got removed and took out the path without path healing on. But the guck tree getting removed doesn't remove its guck. I don't know why that is. I've noticed that before though. Oh man. I forgot that this is actually not that close to the center. So once we get back to the center, it's actually pretty reasonable to then get to the trading area. Let's just make sure. It looks like someone did the same thing I did over here. But that also means these monsters will be able to get there. Ah, that's right. The vials are undead. Yeah. Yeah, Jake, so I changed the spear system. I think like a month ago. So it used to be it had a 1%, no, a 10% chance to break until it became empowered, and then it became a 1% chance. Now it's a 1% chance until it becomes empowered, and then it's like a 0.2% chance or something. So in general, spears don't break anywhere near as often because I realize people just aren't using them. But I have broken spears, like... Like, I just either broke the spear or I left it, right? Because I don't have it anymore. And then I got a bubble. So that means I probably threw it on the ground in front of me. And didn't notice because I got the bubble. And I always think that when I get the bubble, it's fine. So speaking of losing a spear, yeah, I'm not going to find it. I'm not gonna try. I'm not lost on the irony that I read a comment about losing my spear and then proceeded to lose my spear as I was reading the comment. Oh, it's funny. It's all good though. As long as I survive, I get there alive with the money, we're good. Getting some random materials too. Mostly though, I'm not trying to mess around here. I know my limits. And so far, I'm basically just a squishy narrator. That's like all I do. Halloa has kept me alive pretty much because he has proper weaponry and can actually hurt stuff. I can like distract it for a moment. But even like my arrows and stuff, they do like no damage. Oh man. At some point, I'll probably empower stuff, but yeah, I don't know. Something's changed in the way that I play. And I don't like being powerful in games anymore. Like, I literally don't enjoy it. It's like, I like... Because I've noticed, basically, that when I get something I want, I then lose interest in the game. And I've seen that happen, personally, in my own case, so many times. I mean, it doesn't always happen. But that's why I'm, like, so comfortable with the notion of players, like... fighting the bosses but never beating them, that kind of thing. Obviously, people are going to beat the bosses, I'm well aware. At this point, to be honest, I'm pretty sure the players on the server now are already strong enough that if they use the mechanics, they could destroy all the bosses. Except maybe the later ones are too unrealistic, like Fader and them. Maybe they have too much health because they get amplified a bunch, and I don't know, to be honest. But the players could probably handle it. I've just noticed, like, in my case, yeah, I just don't. It's like, I'm the same way with money in real life. Like, I had an experience, like, gosh, like 7 years ago, a long time ago. And before that experience, I was more like other people. I really believed that earning more money would make my life easier. And I knew this sounds dumb. Everyone says, yeah, money's important. And don't get me wrong, money's useful. But money has a way of bringing burden with it, and also increasing your ability to make problems. So there's like people I know who they'd be like, if they had more money, they would have died in a weaker part of their life where they were having a lot of struggles because they were super, compulsive or whatever at that point in their life. And if they had access to whatever they wanted, it would have been a really, really bad thing. So, like, I've also seen that most people with money still suffer. They're still terrified of losing money. They're still scared of health, and they're still bankruptable by the medical system. So I just don't really, like, for me, happiness is something that's there already. There's no achieving it. There's no getting to it. There's no, oh, one day you're gonna feel it. And that's not how it works. That's all a lie. And I know that because, like, I mean, I've been very lucky in life, and everything I've dreamed about eventually became true. Um, and I got to learn, like, what happens when you actually get what you want. And it's not as simple as you think it is. Like, you think you'll just be happy, but happiness comes from letting go of things. It doesn't come from achieving anything. It doesn't come from what you think it does. And that's why people in general are so unhappy, because they're misled into thinking that you have to do something to get happiness. But really, happiness it's all about stopping the getting in the way. I don't know if that makes sense, but basically all humans are already happy. It's just that modern life is so incredibly complex and so backwards, and we're led to believe we have everything we need when we often don't have some of the basic things that are really important in life that are critical to human happiness. So the reality is we don't have what we need. Even people who seem to have everything and are quite wealthy, they often don't have what they need. So it's just not as simple as it seems. And I know that, like, there's not much point in me telling this to people, because especially if, like, you're very fixated on that, your life's going to be better once this thing happens, once you get this job, once you get that degree, once you get this much money, once you own a house, blah, blah, blah. It's all bullshit. None of it's real. Your happiness is already there, and you can only get in its way. So there's all these things you can tell yourself about why you're not happy yet, but ultimately you're unhappy because you're a human in the modern era who lives in a time where we're surrounded by distraction and busyness and complexity. And it's impossible to be within these constraints and be okay and just happy. That can't happen. You have to let go of things. You have to stop idolizing things and stop stimulating so much. Like, that's something I've learned a lot about as a person who works from the computer. I have multiple jobs and they're all on the computer. And, like, I have to do a lot of things so that I'm able to work so much on Valheim. I have to live in a very particular way. And that one of the curses people experience in my position, and it's not just me, it's also people like Dakar, Rocco, all these people. Like, within the Valheim community, we might be respected, or people are really supportive of me, and people seem to be quite supportive of Dakar and Rocco from what I can tell. But in our real lives, it's not like that at all. In fact, it's often the opposite because for most of us, anyone who makes content about Valheim and these things, like from the perspective of our families and people in our actual lives, we're just like playing a video game, just like playing Call of Duty all day or just playing World of Warcraft habitually all the time. Like it's kind of weird because society accepts video games. It's very common to play video games these days, but at the same time, it's still judged, right? And especially like if you're realistic about the expectations from family members and these kind of things, it's complicated, right? So that's why I'm always very grateful for all of the support that I get from all of you, because that's enabled me to better understand that, like, while yeah, in my life, nobody in my personal life understands the work that I do. They literally, like, I mean, they don't even watch like videos about things really. They don't, because it's just to them, it's just a video game. Like it doesn't. For me, Valheim and the content creation and my participation in ValCon, I see how it's all linked to the future, and it is developing the skills that put me in a position to develop games and influence the gaming scene and like become more powerful in life and be able to influence people and teach people how to treat each other better. So for me, it's an incredibly deep, meaningful thing. Like that's why I'm able to work so much on Enigma Mode, because I see a future in it. I see like my future in it. And I don't mean like it's going to make me rich or something. I just mean that it gives me the holy game development experience that most people have to pay for. I get it for free because I can run Enigma Mode, you guys play it, and then I get to see what you do, and that teaches me how game design really works, how people really behave, what they really care about, what they actually do, how to manage communities, how to deal with players making suggestions, how to involve the players in the creation process. This is all really, really, really important stuff that traditionally is quite challenging to get experience in. Like if you go study game design in college, like you're not gonna get the experience doing these things. So for me, yeah, it's like it's just funny the contrast, right? So that's I mean you probably can tell that I'm very how do I put it, driven in that way, just because I mean I must be, right? I've made Valheim content for years while Valheim is a niche game, not popular, while I mean my videos get like maybe a solid video in a week will get 1,000 views, but like that's that's like my life, what I've been doing, right? I work for like pennies for an hour pretty much, and like I don't mind because of how motivating it is and how meaningful the work is for me, and how like I've seen that like in my life I've seen a lot of suffering and unfairness, and in general, I was never really able to help people. That's one of the reasons I left the United States, because life there is just too expensive. I can't help anyone there. Like really, I can't. And I don't when I mean help, I don't mean save. I just mean like live in a win-win situation where they're helping me, I'm helping them. I couldn't do that in the US. Life is just so expensive there. Whereas here in Nicaragua, I can rent and I pay rent, and like here it's really hard to find renters. So when you can be a reliable renter to a landowner, you're like giving them something they can't normally get, a stability that is hard to find, a thing that's special that they want to preserve and protect. And also, like when you buy food here, you can buy it literally from families who like use your money to feed their kids quite literally and make you fresh food and produce. So life is just so much more connected, and it's so much more, it's so easy in Nicaragua to live in a way where like I need this and I'm getting it, and someone else is benefiting in a good way, where an actual person, a family, like a real people, get the benefit, not some big corporate conglomeration, not some wealthy executive who earns, 400 times the amount of money the average salary of his company pays. Like, it's just, for me, like that, the society there is such that it curses you to this busy, distracted life where you're going to be miserable. Like, unless you earn good money and you can kind of ascend out of that. But in doing that, you often then develop a whole bunch of other problematic habits. So that seems to be what happened to me. I've had experiences that have removed the desire for, not, it's not like the desire for money is gone, but this belief that money fixes things is gone in me. So, like, money to me is something that occurs if I ascend my state of mind over time. Money will come. It's not something that I'll get by, like, me personally figuring things out. It's by me not getting in my own way anymore and doing what I love to do. And that's what I was trying to get at, is like, once I started working on the server and I started developing, it just became so apparent that, like, I don't know what this project is, but I see that what I love is to be able to like share things in a very open way that makes people feel like they want to do that as well. And so that we can all learn from each other and be more kind of communal and help each other. I think that this is something that people miss, if that makes sense. And I know I talk about intense things, and sometimes people will think I'm like pro a certain kind of government or whatever. But I just want to be clear. I don't believe in that kind of thing. Like, I'm not like a socialist or whatever you want to call these words. Um, like, the way I look at it, like, there only is capitalism. There is nothing else. You can say you live in a democracy, you can say you live in a republic, whatever. Like, there only is money and its power and influence. And we have to understand that and work within those constraints, because we have this habit, especially in the West, of like thinking that we can write some things on a piece of paper, and that's going to stop us from having to do the holy work itself, which is treating people well. Like, what the world needs is empathy. It needs people to be more understanding. That's why our world is shitty, because many of us have been going around the world waging war and hurting people and destroying their towns and harming their cultures and lying to our people. We've waged so many wars and held food for diplomatic reasons that have no ethical goodness to them at all. We've starved so many hundreds of millions of people in the name of freedom and democracy. We've led to the abuse of women on purpose because we know we can rile populations up. And it's just so disgusting the way we behave. I've completely lost faith in all these things, because I understand now what actually has to happen. It's that holy work that I've seen does happen sometimes in Valheim, where communities play together. They start to learn to share. They work together. That's like, I know that seems like a stretch to those of you who are listening. Like, I know it's just a video game, right? But this is what I was trying to get at. Like, for me, it's all linked. It's all related. All of the suffering in the world, like, the reason I'm able to work so consistently is because this is a response. It's how I handle the suffering in the world, and there's so much suffering. I fundamentally believe people need to be shown empathy for the world to get better. And they haven't been shown empathy, so they create more violence and war and destruction, especially in the Western world. I'm an American. I'm from the United States. I'm a person who is legally obliged to pay into a culture that is currently financing an actual genocide. And you can think what you will about these things. You can think about blaming other countries, blah, blah, blah. My point's just that ultimately we live in a world where money is what matters. It's what's actually powerful. And there's a lot of people who've been tricked into thinking, there's some piece of paper you can declare that, if this was just a socialist government, everything would be fine. And it's not true. There is no form of government that bypasses the reality that we have to be kind to one another. We have to be more understanding. And that starts by trying to understand your enemies. It starts by showing empathy to those that you hate. And I seem to be in a position where I can spread this mentality. And, maybe the world will end me. Maybe that won't occur. But for now, that is my life. I have been protected. I've been blessed. I've been shown the reality of what we do in Latin America from an American perspective, as a U.S. citizen. So like I don't talk to you of conspiracy theories or these things. I'm talking to you of the reality of what I've seen as an American living in a country that my government has been destabilizing for over 100 years. I've seen the documentation. I've seen the training resources. I know what we call it. I know what we do. And it has completely made me lose faith in Western culture as a whole. So that's why like my drive to work on Enigma is so powerful, because for me, it is the other side of a response to a lot of suffering. Also in my personal life. I've seen a lot of things. I've been around people who have gone through very, very intense realities for a long time. And I've become very much a person who no longer feels interest in dealing with other people in real life. So it's kind of funny because online, I'm very much like very communal, and I want to be very open and have people copy and use things and do live streams a bunch. But in my actual physical life, I'm not like that anymore. Like I like living a very simple life. I want to take care of hens, have some plants that I can study and take care of in a garden, and develop video games that help people treat each other better. That's my purpose. That's the thing that I do that makes everything else not matter anymore. And so I'm not saying that everybody, should be that way. More what I'm getting at is that there's something that can happen in video games that's very special. And I don't ever expect like players to feel the way that I do, or even to understand when I talk about these kind of subjects, because for the player, it's not like, for them it is a game, right? It really isn't a spiritual experience, if that makes sense. But for me, development is literally like a religious experience. Something happens when I get into development, and I don't know what I'm doing. Something possesses me. I really don't have like a purpose or a plan. I respond to feelings and what players say, and that is how all of this was created. That's why I can confidently say, like, it doesn't need to finish or get to a certain point where it's done, because I don't know what it is. Like, I literally, like, it's just a way for me to react to life in a time where the world, at least from what I've seen, is morbidly unfair, where we create problems and then we attack the people who suffer because of the problems that we created, and we use those people. And in my country, at least, there's this notion of liberals and conservatives, and people get all fussed about it. And from my perspective, they're all full of shit. It's all nonsense. There is no, like, it's just people using us, causing us to fight, causing us to not take care of each other. And our biggest problem is our lack of empathy for each other. And it might not seem relevant to video game design, but it's actually really, really important. Because if you don't understand that people are suffering, and a lot of people play video games because their life is full of suffering, you won't understand how players work. And I'm not saying that, like, I don't mean to say that everyone who plays games is an addict. That's not what I'm saying. I fully believe a lot of people are better off playing video games all the time. That's the reality of the condition they're in. And in my case, in my life, that's often been true. Like as a kid, when my father was sick and dying, it was like, what would have been better for me as a kid? Hanging out with my father once he'd lost the ability to speak and he was in pain constantly and like on one of those oxygen machines and like sounded like Darth Vader and stuff. Or just playing some video games. You know, like, I understand escapism. But on the other hand, I think the way people talk about escapism is very... It shows a lack of understanding of the human condition. Because many people live lives where the best thing they can do is be relatively still and not fight, not make problems. And there's ways that video games can give people a sense of belonging, a sense of community. And in a time where, holy shit. Look at all of this. Hello, Fishmaster. Welcome, welcome. I've been on a very deep rant, but if those of you didn't notice, I got to the center of the world a while ago, and now I've been traveling down the main path, and I'm just highly amused because we can see all of the death icons that are marked, and that was pretty amusing. Oh, a gift. Whoa, that's a fancy gift. I'll put that in the cart. We can find a place to give this to someone. I don't want this, though. It's too much for me. I need to keep simple. Where's my, I took off my nimble anklet! Let's see. Ooh, lightning storm fang. Nice, nice. We're gonna find a place to put this where someone else might use it. I really don't like using the stronger weapons until it's like, because I've had so many experiences where once I'm at that point, yeah, I lose fear. And once I lose fear, I lose immersion. So that's why I'm still running around at this point, 11. I've been playing for like 40 hours or something. And like, I still haven't done like the basics of the things that would get one progressed. But we're pretty close now. So Fishmaster's leading us down, and we're going to get to these meadows, and then it'll be much simpler. So I know I was ranting about really intense things there, and I decided to just keep going with that rant. But basically, when you join Path of Magic, there will be a main path. So you'll see that there's Enigma paths going like to the side, but then also these main paths. And the main path goes and wraps its way through like the entire world, overlapping through many, many different situations, and it's pretty crazy, to be honest. Pretty crazy. Keeping us safe. And so you can imagine, it's funny because once players get empowered, the monsters themselves become like almost like trash mobs. Like they can kill you if you're off guard and like the right thing hits you. But for the most part, once you get super empowered, the overworld becomes not really a threat anymore. And that's where the bosses come in. And that's why the bosses themselves have to be kind of unkillable to players without that level of gear. Does that make sense? But I'm really curious how people are going to be doing when they actually start doing the boss fights, because everyone's definitely geared enough. Like, I remember, I think technically, all you really need to boss fight is you need one empowered weapon that you can keep getting hits on. So like maybe some you could use a bow or a magic weapon or possibly a melee weapon if you're able to deal with the ads, because the boss fights spawn a lot of extra monsters, and that can be hard to manage for people. Ayo, you got some friends. Oh, I had a friend. I didn't even see he was chasing me. Oh. Oh yeah, I lost my bubble shield. This is the exact kind of situation where you just randomly die. So I'm just staying back over here. Wait, what? How could you give me more context? So you're taking the battle axe out of the chest and then it vanishes from your inventory and returns to the chest? That might sort of explain earlier, I swear, when I was looking through the chests, there was definitely some silver ore in it. And then I looked again and there was no silver ore anywhere. So that was kind of funky. I don't know what that was about. I'll look at the stream later because there's a couple times that I've looked through something in the stream and then it's been yeah, I can see it happen in the video, right? So it's easier to troubleshoot. It's actually pretty funny. It's hard to notice things while I'm streaming. Stuff often happens and I don't even notice it's happening. But this, for me, unfortunately, this is just Valheim for me. Like, it's crazy laggy when I'm around other players to the point where I can't use melee, even if I do everything I know how to do to make it better. And I think that's just because I live in a country that has a lower, like a lot of connection points, basically, if that makes sense. And I'm going to actually set a spawn point here, because if I die now, then I'll be a little bit closer. This is Kamyeta's Inn, which was placed in a wonderful place, by the way. Definitely a wonderful spot here. Look at all these people. I love how everyone's just piling up beds here. That's hilarious. Let's see. I think I have one. Yeah. I hope Kamyeta comes back here at some point and there's just a whole heap of beds. It's always a good feeling for people. Anytime like they come back and they see their communal space is like added to or has some more stuff or has more beds, it makes people feel like they're immersed, you know. I'm happy if you want to if anyone wants to show me around while I'm here on stream, feel free to. My plan right now is to just follow fish and go to the little trading area you guys made, and then I brought some coins, so we can do that, and I'll figure out what to do with this Stormfang. I don't want to use it because I want to like test playing up progression with other weapons, but we can find a way to give it to someone or put it somewhere as a reward. I think maybe that flint area you made, I'll go put that there. That might do it. But yeah, what I was explaining basically is for me, and again, it could be because of my networking situation. I live in Nicaragua. So even though I have fiber internet now, I have the best I can get of pretty much everything. Doesn't really matter because Valheim's situation is what it is. And I used to be concerned it was EWP, but to be honest, like the server started without the scripts and it was the same. That's why like I don't know if people realize how beneficial it would be if Iron Gate actually redid networking. Oh, I didn't even see this bridge thing. Oh, I was gonna say the area I went to had 3 of them. This is so nice. Oh my gosh. One second. I gotta calm down here and then assess the situation for a moment, and then I'll talk. Hello, Juan. Welcome, welcome, by the way. I just saw your comment. I'm about to show off this trading area. So you can get here for any of you who want to check it out or you want to see the trade shelves in action. You could look in the very beginning of the live stream. I started it by showing off a demonstration of the trade shelves, talked a little bit about how they worked, etc., etc. But now we're going through these 2. I did, yeah. I have your cultivator. How? I'm sorry. You could make another one. There is bronze there. I did. I literally went a long way around the world. I'm so far away with Halawa's cultivator. But what I was getting at is if you want to check out the trade shelves, you can join Path to Magic and then just go south, and you'll eventually get to Hilder. And once you get to Hilder, you're really close to some of the new areas that people have been developing that you could check out. So we're at this like trading bridge area, right? So it's not just a trading area, it's also a bridge. So when I came over here earlier, I actually passed over it because I thought it was just a trading area. I'm gonna eat some of this food. I still haven't gotten used to feasts, to be honest. There's so many things in Valheim I still haven't gotten used to. Let's see. What do we have here? So there's Berserker Mead for silver necklace. Okay, so if we give 1 silver necklace, boom, look at that. We get 1 Berserker Mead. Hey, that's pretty cool. That's pretty cool. I'm glad I just happened to have... I don't know how I had the silver necklaces. I must have picked them up from something. Wolf Jerky for fine wood. Nice. These are interesting. Hey, Arizosa. Welcome, welcome. See ya, Halawa. I hope you have a good one. Oh, you guys have a bunch of trade shelves here. Nice. This is definitely what I had imagined you guys had made something like this. So when I found the area and it had the diverger and there were 3 of them, I was like, I feel like I'm missing something. Let's see. Poison arrows for wood. Yo. I'm gonna do that one. Let's see if it works. I haven't shown them that you can do... I keep using 1 quantity stack, but you can actually do more, as you saw. Hey. These are interesting. You did a good job. So far I haven't seen anything that's like very unbalancing. And it's cool because these are things that people like, but then also you get something that the more advanced players like, the rubies and silver necklaces. So it's like, it's a cool way to trade things that that kind of get the new person to gather something for you. You know what I mean? I think that's cool. Let's see what's up here. Poison mead. These are cool. I love the way it's in a bridge as well, because it's just like one thing you can go down, and then there's all of this, like, it's like a perfect rest stop. I've been using these as floors as well. I really like the Ashwood intricate detailed floors. They're really cool. I'll look around a little bit more too here. And then I know we can keep going. Basically, for the rest of the stream, you guys can just show me whatever you want. I'll just meander around and show it off and talk about it. So anyone who wants to check out trade shelves and learn more about them, there's tons here that you can use. And then so basically the owners, which in this case is Fishmaster, right? You see, you can look at the trade shelves private chests and see who owns it. And because I am not Fishmaster, I can't open them. So that's why it allows players to trade when you're not there. Because they find the shelf, they trade with the shelf, but they can't loot the profit chest. Only you can later on. So I'm miffed, to be honest. This is a really cool... this is the first time I've seen people really actually use the trade shelves. Because before, I had them set up, but I had set some up in the very beginning. And so people would sometimes use those ones, but it's like, you guys have really gone ham here. Set everything up. Looks cool. I'll just leave the card over there. Just follow you. I'm also not... I wonder what changed. Are we just not near as many monsters? Maybe that's what's different. Because in the Black Forest area... Yeah, it like your characters were flying around and all that kind of thing. Whereas now... They look like they're continuing to walk on the path. Looks more reasonable. Oh, cool. I like this. Do you want to show your and Darko's spot? You can if you want to. Like, for the rest of this stream, I'm just going to tour whatever you guys feel like showing off, and that'll be what we do. Ah, so that goes up to a frost cave. That's cool. So the area I saw, I think we're about to get there. It's this like area with these diverger, and so it's got a blacksmith, and it's looked super cool inside, to be honest. Yeah, blacksmith's shop. Here we go. Yeah, it must be down here. Yeah, and of course on this whole journey, it's been dark or misty most of the time. Cool. Got a little cart spot. I love how the diverger greet us. That's so funny. So they have a diverger blacksmith set up, as you can see here. If you've ever played Enigma, these are how the other players have really, really powerful weapons that do a lot of damage. You can double your weapon's strength or delete it. So that allows you to do a whole bunch of crazy stuff with weapons. So let's see. Oh, I wonder, maybe, do you have like an example of an empowered weapon somewhere I can show them? I guess you could just show one of your weapons. But that's kind of one of the, I'd say it's like one of the backbone experiences to Enigma. You don't have to use the empowering system, but it definitely is quite popular among players. It's one of the most used mechanics. I really like the padded helmet. I forgot how cool it looks. Cool armor in general. I like how you have a shelf down here. Is this just for decoration? Like you took out the actual components that make it do something, so it just has the trade shelf. It's pretty funny. And so if we go up here, we see this diverger. When I first came here earlier, this diverger wasn't here, and I came up here, and then they like came up behind me as if they were like watching me or something. It was really funny. Really funny, to be honest. So you can see in the top area, they've got some things here. You can buy some ruby, 1 ruby for 20 coins. We can buy silver for 1 silver necklace, and we can buy silver necklaces for 5 rubies. Pretty cool. I left all my coins in that cart, so I'm just gonna deal with it. Yeah, don't worry. Whenever I talk, I should probably join a Discord chat, because then you can listen in Discord and you'll hear me live. But if you actually listen to me on the stream, then you'll hear me talking like anywhere from 20 to 60 seconds after after it actually happens, right? So I see, that was what that shelf was. Okay, that makes sense. That makes sense. Yeah, it's funny. I can tell too how I thought that it was just combat in Valheim around other players that made things laggy. But I can tell, like, I'm pretty laggy right now, and we're not fighting anything. And I came back here earlier, and it was totally smooth. So, like, it really is just a multiplayer thing. It seems like probably just from, like, a game design perspective, the biggest learning lesson from Valheim is how important having, like, really effective multiplayer networking code is. Like, it looks like it's critical, like absolutely critical. Also, though, I traveled a long distance, so probably if I exit and then join back in, then it'll kind of like unload things and I'll be able to see things more smoothly again. But I'm not going to worry about it for now. For now, I kind of just want to see the things people have been doing, and yeah, I'm not really trying to do anything in particular anymore. I've gotten all the rants out of my system. I ranted a bunch about game design, complained a little about Valheim networking, talked about the inner depths of my reality. You know, it's good. I feel satisfied. Ooh, this is pretty cool. Let me actually see something. I'll just be right back. I'm just gonna log out and log back in. I think 'cause I traveled so far, it needs to run garbage collection, and it hasn't done that. Here we go. All right. Now we're launching Valheim again. Bum ba da bum ba da bum. And we'll see. It should. Oh no, wrong server. No, I don't want to log on to the testing server. I want to log on to the real server. It's okay. It's probably down. I do this kind of thing so much. Like I'll think I'm logging on to single player, but I habitually just log on to Path of Magic. Or vice versa. I want to log on to Path of Magic, but then I load a single player world and I'm just like, God damn it. Or I'm on the dev character and I don't want to be. Or I'm on the mortal character and I don't want to be. There's so many things I can mess up. Or I have caps lock on. Is that what it was? I bet it was caps lock. Let's see. I need a little thing. Yep, caps lock. Alright. Okay, caps lock is off. Now I'll be able to join again. And probably it'll be easier, because there shouldn't have been that much lag in that area. There's not that many monsters or problems, so I think probably my client was just struggling because of the distance I traveled and all the other things it had loaded. We'll see, though. Because technically, like, that's something... The other players being there should make combat laggy. It should make monsters laggy, but it shouldn't actually make the game itself laggy, right? Yeah, there we go. Hello. Let's see now. So when you first... Much butter. When you first load Valheim up, it's always going to perform much better at first, but then it'll, like, load all the instances, and then you'll get to see. And now... Yeah, now everything's fine. And that's something that, so what you just saw happen, if you've been paying attention on the stream, where, like, I was in this area, and the frame rate was really low, right? That is exactly what happens when you travel a lot over long distances. Valheim, like, doesn't do a good job of doing garbage collection. So it basically does garbage collection kind of independent of how far you've been traveling. So sometimes it's worth logging out and logging back in, because that forces garbage collection, because the client closes, it ceases to be, right? So it's as if you dump it all out and restart it. And that tends to help. But if you use speedy paths, that mod actually makes that happen way more. Anything that increases movement speed will basically make that problem more intense. Hey, I recognize this spot. Yeah, you're right. This is where we were before. And now it's all blinged out. I didn't recognize it until I saw Roadhog. Wait, let's see. There was this backyard area. Yeah, it's different now. Now there's more forges. Haha. Oh, I love the ash vine. I think the ash vine's one of my favorite things they added, to be honest. Also, the normal vines are really cool, but there's just something about the way they grow and how the depth they add to buildings. It's super awesome. Valheim's, I mean, it's such a fun game to build in, like really. It makes you wonder, like, maybe that's the problem. They don't treat it like a building game, but really, it's a building game, isn't it? Like a building game with survival elements, you know? This is what I would refer to as cozy. Does that make sense? Like cozy things, cozy designs have a lot of pieces kind of placed to decorate, whereas other designs that are more like framed, they are more they're usually bigger. Those players will focus on like more grand looking things and won't necessarily, place a bunch of rugs and little details everywhere, right? But I love these kind of bases, to be honest. It feels quite chill. Let's see, I haven't gone upstairs yet. At some point I'll make my base more cozy, because now I finally have a room. The first time I've actually set one up here. Oh, that's cool. I like how you put the storage up there. That's nice. I like hiding things a little bit so that they're out of the way, right? So here you don't see a bunch of chests, but whoa, no, there are a bunch of chests here. Whoa, you can literally walk on the chests as the That's hilarious. It's like a chest floor. See, that in my head, that's very well hidden storage. Because that's a huge amount of storage, but it's not like, I mean, that's very unassuming, right? Like, if we go outside and we look up, I mean, I wouldn't assume there's a whole bunch of storage right there, you know what I mean? It's very cool. It reminds me of, if you've ever been in like one of those boats that cross over, they're like ocean rated vessels, so it may be a small boat, but you can cross over the Atlantic Ocean in it or something. They're often like this. They have like every nook and cranny and every corner is used for something. There's storage space under and above everything. It's really cool. Hey, hello EWP Jam. Welcome. I immediately trust you more than every other Twitch comment I've ever gotten because you said EWP. So I'm not going to give you the you're probably going to bait me rank because I think maybe you're a real person. What's up? How you doing? Yeah, why don't we So we'll go, the others want to show Darko and Ares' place. So I'm going to follow them to that spot, basically. Looks like it's out here somewhere. Got to deal with the laggies. Is it saving time? Let's see. Yeah, 158, saving, the saving moment. Ooh. This is cool. Hey! No way. Wait, so you do EWP. You found me on Twitch because of an EWP tag? That's crazy. What is EWP for you? Maybe EWP is something outside of Valheim, but if you're watching this and you see it's Valheim, maybe you know about it. Yeah, this is a EWP server basically. It's not just a server though. It's like a Valheim overhaul, sort of like Valheim New Game Plus, and it's all scripted with EWP. It's called Enigma Mode, so you can check that out if you want to see more of like what's happening. But this is a fancy smelting area. You guys got like a whole factory here. Ayo. I wonder, are there? Let's see. It looks like, okay, so you got a foreman. Yeah, for the kilns, it looks like. So you can make a bunch of this. Yeah, so it's called Enigma Mode, EWP. Or yeah, and I have an accent. It's true. I say like Valheim, I say A's and E's and oohs in a funny way. I'm like a mutt. Interesting. I like how there's a foreman here, but no conveyor. So that means you guys know about the benefits of the foreman. Because if you have a foreman present and you add wood, then basically they'll notice and then they'll help you out. You'll get a message and they'll overfill the kiln. So for 1 wood, we get 100 coal, which makes this guy worth having around, right? But there's more you can do. There's a whole like conveyor system and stuff. This is cool though. I like how open it is and it's like very modular and placed. This is exactly the kind of thing I used to do. I loved making like forging. With one forging felt like it would take forever and was kind of frustrating. But with multiple, you can smelt like a bunch of stuff really quickly. Yeah, so it's Enigma mode. I guess I can show here. One moment. I'll show you the page thing for a moment, so then you'll know exactly what I'm talking about. So if you ever used Thunderstore or R2 Modman, basically you can just search for Enigma Mode in R2, and then you can play it in single player. It's not something you have to put on a server. And you can even invite your friends and stuff to your world as a host, and then they'll have to deal with Enigma Mode even though they're vanilla. It's super interesting. Let me actually bring it up here. Thunderstore, Enigma Mode. Nice. Okay, now I need to change this. Give me a moment here. There we go. Okay, now you should see my actual web browser instead of Valheim. And so we're on thunderstore.com, and this is Enigma Mode. It's basically a mod pack that installs EWP scripts for you. So you don't need to know anything about EWP to play Enigma Mode. But it's designed to open people's mind about the fact that EWP exists and how incredible it is and all the things we can do with it. So it's sort of like a social engineering project and combined with the Valheim experience. Because I'm not just trying to show off a cool Valheim world. I'm trying to get a bunch of people interested in EWP by giving them experiences and showing people how we can do stuff. So I just want to show that so that EWP Jam knows what Enigma Mode is and where to find it. So now we're back in Valheim, and we're heading off to our, I think it's Darko's base and Arizos's base. Is that right? Something like that. Yeah. Is that where the mountain area was earlier? That would make sense. This is Hilder's Meadow, by the way, if you've ever played on Path of Magic. And just so you know, EWP Jam, Path of Magic is the public server that I run that has Enigma Mode on it. But you can play Enigma Mode in single player, or you could set Enigma Mode up on your own server. There's ways to make it crossplay so that you can play it on like a Xbox or a Mac or whatever you want, really. But for now, Arizosa and Fishmaster are showing me around. So they're showing me some of the bases that the other players have been building. I think this is Arizosa's area, right? Or is this Darko's area? I think it's Arizosa's, right? It looks familiar. Oh, yeah, Arizosa's crib. One second. I'll go in a moment. I want to look outside. I like seeing the way people garden. Let's see. Hey, that's cool. You got an onion plot, a turnip plot, and you're doing the beehive thing. That's awesome. So in Enigma Mode, if you have a beehive near plants, then they get pollinated, and then instead of giving you just like 3 or 6 turnips, you get a whole stack of turnips. So that way you place a beehive and you only need a few plants around it, to supply you with all of your planting needs, so you don't have to spend loads of time gardening, but you can still make gardens and keep them decorative and everything. So that's the idea. And it's always cool seeing people actually use the mechanics. Definitely, definitely interesting. Is this a chicken house? I bet this is a chicken house. Oh, a boar house. That was close. Princess. That's a good name for a boar. Why does that feel like a reference to something? Isn't there something with a boar named Princess? I feel like in World of Warcraft there's a boar named Princess at some point. Why does that sound familiar? I don't know. I don't remember. Nice. Ooh, you got some cool glass windows. Nice. Nice little courtyard here. That's always smart too, having that gap between the house and the outer walls. That way if something does like do an AoE like a troll or whatever, it's not gonna go into the house itself. Yeah. That's funny. Nice stores. Look at this. I love seeing a labeled storage system. They're really cool. I know I'm not the best at making them, but to be honest, it's more because of the time that it takes to build and do things. And I've been noticing that I'm playing. Because like I do the live stream, right? But in the live stream I gotta talk a lot and I play like an idiot. Like I can't fight. I can't do anything because I'm talking and focused on that. So I like have to also play when I'm not live streaming. Kind of like a 50-50 ratio seems to work. But even then, yeah, it's just like I have to play pretty slowly now. Because I'll be playing for a long time. But I love how this is all labeled and everything. It's really cool. Also, I love barrels. There's something about the barrels that just makes me happy. I don't know what it is, but seeing the barrels near each other and seeing them near the fermenter as well, like, I don't know, that's just cool. Really cool. Let's see, what's up here? Hey. Oh, I've been meaning to use one of these. Now's the moment. Nice. Okay, wait, I need a beard. I like this one. I'm going for something fancy. Let's see. I like that. That's hilarious. I see. Oh, I can make my head move around. Oh, I didn't know that. Interesting. Very patchy, huh? Speed Demon. That's what it's called. I like that. To be honest, I think that's kind of funny. I think I'm gonna go with that. Let's see. What do I need for my tone here? Yeah, I did this before and it made me feel too much like a cartoon character. I'll just go with something like this. There we go. Yeah, now I got the beard again. Nice. We're back. The evolution into the full character continues. Another cozy place, to be honest. I also like the root armor. Root armor looks really cool. I think what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna make like a room, and then I'm gonna like slowly collect different armor sets and have them in like a circle around me until I've gotten like one of each. I saw one of the other players, Rose, set that up, and that was really cool. Oh, you got a whole hot tub here too. That is hilarious. One second. How do I do this? Oh yeah, I already don't have pants on. I was ready. I haven't been playing with pants the whole live stream. Oh, Valheim, what a game. What a game. Let's see. The storage. Let's see. Gravity asked about the storage. I'm trying to remember which. I'm happy to go look at it, to be honest. The storage is always cool. I think I'm always drawn to systems that allow, they have like an area that allows the player to just toss stuff in when they don't feel like organizing it. If that makes sense, because that's always what I struggle with. It's like, I like using an organized system, but there's always this period of time where one kind of learns where the things go, right? And then, of course, you can just use a mod that auto stores things and then removes that whole part. And I've definitely wanted to do that. And I think if I played just as a normal player, that's what I would do. To be honest. But because I want to learn about game development, I like learning more about the suffering. So sometimes I make myself do things without a mod that I know fixes it, so I can better understand like how it might feel from the player's perspective. I remember now. Gravity Wakfu, I remember. Darko in-game, Gravity Wakfu on YouTube, and then Dark in Discord. It's like that's something I struggle with sometimes. The players, if someone uses the same name in everything, then it's easier. Like I remember who they are more easily. But when there's different names happening, I get really confused, to be honest. Especially if I've been like developing and then I stream and then I'm trying to like remember something. I've had situations where I like helped the wrong person and they just went along with it because they didn't like understand English very well. So like I'll just like give somebody something randomly and then they're like, "Oh, cool, thank you." It's funny. Yeah, so now we'll go back to your spot and we can look at your storage area. Why not? I'm happy to because I know that like with the live streams, I'm not totally I'm not trying to reach a bunch of people with the live streams. I'm not worried about that. I want to make sure the live streams are like enjoyable and useful to two groups of people. The people who play on the server primarily, but then also people who want to play Enigma mode themselves and want to learn more about how to do it, etc., etc. So if sorry, I lost my train of thought for a second. So basically, I try and figure out like how I can do things in the stream that are enjoyable for the people playing. And that's something I've noticed is that people seem to like it when we can show things off in the stream. Make sense? So that's probably something I can kind of set up more. Like not every single stream, but maybe like, yeah, once a week or something, or once a month or whatever. I like go through and show off what people have been working on and what they want to show. You know? I think probably people would like that because in general, the thing people don't get from Valheim when they build is they build stuff and then nobody gets to see it. They don't get to see anything else, you know what I mean? So, hey, yeah, I see the bees now. That's a good place for them. And you can just jump on the roof and harvest them. So what I was getting at is like, I think probably that's something we can figure out. Because there's so many cool buildings on the server that, like, I know people enjoy it when their hard work is shown off somehow, right? And like I can't like visit every single place every time it's made, and sometimes I say I will or something and then I get distracted by something else. So I just want to find a way that I can make people feel more included, because while it's true I just kind of, when I live stream, I just rant about stuff. It's not like I'm trying to push people away. It's more that I've seen that like when I just talk with people, that's not really accessible to all the players. So it's kind of like I have to kind of expose some of the reality of what goes into the design of things, but also show stuff off visually that the players have been working on, right? Oh yeah, we didn't go inside his blacksmith over here. This is so cool, to be honest. I'm so happy that people are making places for their Dverger, because that was something in the very, very beginning we didn't have, and we were trying to figure out, because it was like, well, maybe if we give, like, how can we make it so part of a base is the Dverger, right? Because in normal Valheim, you don't have interactions between the player and the diverger. Oh, this is exactly what I see why you wanted me to see it now, because it's overhead storage, exactly what like I was talking about, without all the visual of it being right in front of the player, right? So you have all this area you can customize and build out a little bit, but then all of the storage here. Very cool. Yeah, I'm always impartial to either the white or the yellow text. There's something about the yellow text in particular I really like. Maybe it's just because it reminds me of Valheim. I'm not really sure, to be honest. Yeah, this looks great though. I love how it's up. Yeah, because what I've noticed is like if in front of the player there's always a clear path, it feels good, if that makes sense. So storage tends to work better when you have to like look up to get it, then that tends to work really well. At least for me, it feels smooth. You know what I mean? Like it feels like something easy to get used to. I definitely like that. I tend to just make like a bunch of stuff and then I slowly organize it later, but it takes a long time, to be honest. Now we can check out. Oh, that's a cool way to use a hot tub. Wait, is that also you can go in it? Oh, wait, I gotta see that. Ooh. Nice interior. Yeah, you can. That's hilarious. I like, yeah, it's visual on the outside, and then also maybe you could sit in it. I don't know if I'd get clipped in. Sometimes hot tubs can clip you into stuff. But this is really cool. Gotta love ashwood. It's nice having a lot of ashwood to build with, right? Yeah, and it's funny too that I gotta pay more attention to like the multiplayer latency and stuff, because now this is functioning perfectly. Like I can see their characters moving around. They're not teleporting. They're staying on the level. They move around in a little bit. You know what I mean? Like, so this area is working fine, and I'm at like 7,000 instances. But I've noticed earlier in other places there's less instances and I'm laggy. So like I gotta pay attention to that and figure that out. And like now we still get a little bit of that kind of stuff, right? But for me again, I'm just used to it. That's just how it is here. What is all? Ah, you haven't labeled these yet. That's funny. That's so cool. Yeah, so if you've ever played Enigma, if you make a sign, it'll tell you a tip, just by default. There's like 1,000 of them it can tell you. So you can learn about mechanics by just like rebuilding signs over and over again. If you've ever seen like a place someone hasn't labeled yet, then sometimes it'll just have signs and it'll be like all these tips about Enigma. It's pretty funny. Yeah, this is cool. I like how I like the use of all the dark wood and the ash wood. Definitely really awesome. It's very cool seeing how the like culture of Valheim has changed visually since Ashlands came out, right? Like you couldn't this kind of stuff you could see these things before Ashlands, but we didn't have all these like intricate detailed pieces like this. We didn't have all the like slats that you can use. A lot of that stuff wasn't there, right? Really special though. I was thinking the other day, like if I made a game, what would it be? And it was hard to think about because I love Valheim so much. But like for me, Valheim is like a I mean, if it just had good networking and didn't have the limits it has, it would be the perfect game for me. Like literally, I love Valheim. It's amazing. There's so many different ways to play it. So many different things you can do. It really enhances world creation. Like even the ocean, it's so blank that there's so many things you could fill it with now using like world generation. You could make custom ocean caves and locations. On Enigma mode, the ocean's full of serpents and danger, right? there's loads of things that you can like do in Valheim. I think it really like what it's missing is just the tool sets for the players, because the devs have this kind of mentality of limiting the players, and that holds them back. If you want to see something kind of crazy, you can look at Snazzy's channel. Or here, actually, I already have it set up. I can do it really quickly. I like looking at the polls that Snazzy runs, because he gets a pretty good sense of like the average Valheimer who's active now, not like the really dedicated Valheimers who like we tend to know. So if you look at Snazzy's kind of polls that he runs on the community, it's a really good insight into Valheim and what the average player feels and is going through. So I'm just getting it to the right page in here. This was a reminder of my place in the world. You see this? So Snazzy has one of the best captures of the active Valheim players at the moment. So I know you may think, okay, 10,000 votes. There's 15 million, 14 million Valheim players, whatever. There's not 14 million active Valheim players. There are between 10 and 60,000 people every day who play Valheim. Snazzy gets a lot of votes in these polls. You can actually use his polls to gauge how average Valheimers feel at the moment. It doesn't really apply to us, and those of you playing, you tend to be more like Valheim veteran types. You've played a lot. Maybe you have, you know, a couple hundred hours into the game, not like 10 or 20. But what I'm getting at is like, this is kind of what I'm grappling with right now, is understanding like, yeah, we have this amazing experience. We love Valheim. It's you know, a really awesome thing to us, but we're very niche. We are not most Valheim players. Most Valheim players, like, there's distaste to mods. You know what I mean? And like in this case, for example, half of these people, almost half of them, only use quality of life, which I understand, to be honest. But then a whopping third of the people are actively against mods. Like, think about that for a second. Like, that's a lot. That's a whole lot. And if you combine, like, I mean, if you think about this, that means that only 10% or 11%, 1 out of 10 people on average, is pro mod. Like, we are super niche. And we're pro mod with no map, no portal. We must be like 1 in 1,000 of the Valheim players or something. Something super, super niche, right? But that's just a poll, you know. That being said, something I have to do if I want to survive as like a Valheimer doing stuff is I have to continue doing what I'm doing for the server community, right? But also have a bunch of tutorials and beginner-friendly content that are published every week. Ideally, like 3 tutorials a week. So, like, for me to survive in Valheim, that's what I have to do. I have to figure out how to keep churning out new tutorials. So I have to kind of like, you know, figure that out, because it's what the survival of the YouTube channel hinges on. As much as I love doing the server management stuff and I love EWP and talking to people about it, like, there just isn't enough demand for those things. People don't know about it. So, like, I know that people will love EWP Worlds and all those things. I know that, and I really enjoy it. I want to do that, but I can't reach people on YouTube that way. Like, I really can't. Like, if I make a EWP tutorial, 100 or 200 people will absolutely love it, but like, I need each video to get like 1,000 to 2,000 views in the first week for me to be able to not go into debt. I've been going into debt very slowly for like
3 or 4 years, pretty much. And like, it doesn't really matter. I could still do that for another year or so, sort of, maybe, depending. But I can't really. I don't want to do that anymore. I have to focus and churn out those tutorials. So that's why I mentioned the poll. And if any of you want to help me out, like figuring, not financially, I mean, that's great. That's not what I was asking. I was asking for help with like figuring out kind of what new people need, what kinds of content can I make that will draw people into playing Valheim who are, in all honesty, these kinds of people. You know, I have made a foothold in this group, this 10-11% group that views mods as what has enabled them to play Valheim for thousands of hours. There's still 9/10 of the Valheim community that I am not compatible with. You know, like sort of the quality of life one, sort of. Because I've made content about just quality of life mods, and I've noticed people like that. But like, this is something I have to figure out. I have to navigate, and that's why like I can't just play Valheim. I have to play Valheim a little bit, but also figure out how to make things work where I can keep churning out content for people, right? And so that's why like my personal progression in this live stream is going to be super, super slow. That's why I'm just running around. I still don't have any pants. Like I haven't even done basic progression. I haven't done any of that. That's probably how it's going to stay for a long time. But I do want to progress and grow the character stronger, just like very slowly over time, and get a better sense of that. And it's totally different for me. It's a new experience because normally I play like how other people played. Every other time I play Valheim, I would play like almost every day for like 2 or 3 weeks and get super into it. That's like how I used to play Valheim basically every time. And this is the first time, like now that I'm live streaming, that I'm just playing much more patiently, and I'm just kind of like, yeah, I can go off on an adventure. Because I remember like when I started. Oh yeah, I disappeared. I'm sorry, everybody. So basically, when I started playing Valheim, when I started playing like games in general as a kid, I was able to just do whatever. It didn't matter. Does that make sense? Like, I didn't need to progress. I didn't need to do the most effective thing. I could just log into the game, feel inspired, and have fun. And what I learned is that it wasn't growing up that got rid of that. It was my habits that made me stop focusing on fun. And so over the past, like, I'd say like 10 years, I've relearned how to have fun in a game. And it's all about just like joining, and then you just follow kind of what you feel inspired by. And the attempts to get the strongest thing can often derail that process, if that makes sense. And so for me, like, that's why in the live stream, I've been able to just have fun, just doing whatever, you know, I can go do whatever, just chat, rant, run around, do whatever. And like, it's fun. I don't feel that concerned anymore compared to how I used to be. I used to feel like I had to be the best or try and be the best or whatever. Now I don't even give a shit. Like, I'm totally happy if I never in my life am the best at anything. That's completely fine. I don't care. I want to make things that people have fun playing. That's it. That's what I care about. And part of that involves me, myself, as a gamer, being able to let go of, like, min-maxing, sort of, and just enjoy based on kind of what other people are doing more. And I tend to struggle with that in Valheim, because, like, as you've probably seen, when I play around other players in Valheim, it's really laggy. And, like, I can't, as much as I want to have, like, a good experience in Valheim, I can play with like one other person. Like I've enjoyed playing around Haloa, but I also have to make sure like I let him do the fighting with his stronger stuff and don't shoot him and blow him up. And like I have to be really careful to manage the lag in these things, right? And obviously it is a little sad that that's part of the Valheim experience, at least for me, but it always has been. So I just kind of, I'm used to that. And so I tend to kind of like play in a way where I'll do something and I like set frameworks up or start things that other people can finish, but I don't personally like play together a lot. But that's mostly again because I've just had bad experiences playing in multiplayer in Valheim. Every time I did a boss fight with other people back in the day in vanilla, it was a bad experience. I didn't like it. It was just like really laggy. It was a bunch of like one person doing most of the damage and other people corpse running. And from what I could tell, the people who enjoyed it mostly enjoyed the fact that like 3 or 4 players would get in a voice chat and you could do something together and interact. The actual experience itself was pretty bad. Like it just wasn't fun. And like that's why I was so willing to get rid of boss fighting as the main means of progression, because from my perspective, I've seen players kind of cope with the reality that is Valheim boss fighting, and from my perspective, it's just not a good part of the game. It's not well done. It's not balanced. So the experience, like in single player, it can work, but in multiplayer, it's just frustrating. And like, you'd be better off just like doing something fun together, all as a group, where you get to hang out and chat in voice chat. And I think that's where most of the fun people have from bosses actually comes from, at least from me personally. And obviously, I know this is just my opinion. I know a lot of people really do enjoy the bosses in Valheim. I've heard people say that at least. So I'm not saying I'm right about it. I'm just kind of talking a little bit about, you know, my perspective and why it is that like Enigma is a version of Valheim where you're not really meant to kill the bosses. Like chances are you're gonna fight all the bosses. Maybe you try to fight Eikthyr, but chances are you're never gonna actually defeat any of the bosses. And like yet you still have a really rewarding, fulfilling experience where you want to keep building in the world and have fun, right? And like that kind of shows that the bosses themselves they don't really matter. Like the bosses matter in the sense that they give the players a sense that they can go somewhere. It gives them a sense of what to do, what to progress. And you need that because the players don't really know how to enjoy like the sandbox world. They need to be guided and held by the hand a little bit. So those things are all important. Don't get me wrong. But at the same time, I see how it's not that simple, and that there are a lot of issues because of the way the boss system works in Valheim. So we'll see though, because I want to go through and like playtest the boss fights, and the goal is to make it so players do boss fights together. They usually fail, but they have a lot of fun and they get a lot of building resources anyway. If that can happen, I'm gonna feel like the boss fights are in a good spot. I don't think you don't need to necessarily win. It just needs to be not crazy frustrating, and you need to feel like you get something out of trying. So even if you try and fail 10 times, you still get building resources or money or something. You know what I mean? And I just feel like the boss fights they're one of the weakest parts of Valheim, to be honest. But it's not like the bosses are designed badly necessarily. Again, it comes from the fact that the developers develop around LAN parties, right? Like you can imagine that when they're developing and testing, they're like playing in like together, you know what I mean, from the same place or something similar. I don't know if that's like happening for certain, but I get the impression that the environment they test in just isn't the typical server environment that has players from all over the world. They just don't. designed for that, right? So to get back into what I would want in a game, it really would be something very similar to Valheim, something with like really good building, just from the very beginning to focus on the networking. Because if you have building in a game and you don't have the networking figured out, that's a big problem. Like realistically, it's gonna cause your building to fail later on, right? Like just imagine how would it feel in Valheim if you didn't have to worry about instances until you got to something obscene, you know? Like what if the instance number wasn't even perceivable until 20,000 instances or 30,000 instances with 4 or 5 players in the area? Like that's how it should be for Valheim to really reach its potential, its viral potential for making new communities and really being this cooperative experience. The networking has to be really solid from the beginning. Yeah, Iron Gate just doesn't seem to want to do that, but it's kind of weird because yeah, they've said that, but people who know how to program in Unity have told me, like Yair told me, that it would take somebody who knows what they're doing like 6 to 12 months to remake the networking system. Like it's not like, 4 years or something. So maybe Iron Gate will come through someday. None of us really know their situation. That's why it's kind of hard to tell what's going on with them. Are they limited by the publishing with Coffeegate? Are they limited by, someone higher up in the company? Are they limited by the preferences of people in the company? We don't know. No one really knows. And like it adds this whole ambiguity and like these are things I'm talking about now because I'm going back to the center of the world and then I'll end the stream. But I'm talking about what I'm learning from Iron Gate regarding game development and what I want to do in like game development myself. Because it's shown me like Valheim is really amazing, but the things that make Valheim amazing are kind of accidental. They weren't done on purpose, and the people who run it have an odd relationship with the modders and some of the most dedicated people to their game. I mean, like if you look at people like Yair, he's been given like a lot of his time as a person who is very like talented and well paid, and his time is quite valuable. And like he's done that consistently for years and years and years through Valheim's lowest points. And like also people like Azamat as well, who like I don't talk too much about Azamat, but he's also done like yeah, I get frustrated with his personality. He can be a bit of a dick, but like I would be foolish to not say that he's a huge part of the Valheim modding scene. Like Azamat has done amazing things for Valheim modding, and even Enigma Mode. Like I watched Azamat's tutorials to learn how to upload mod packs to Thunderstorm and everything. So like, don't get me wrong. Just keep in mind, like when I'm more willing to talk about critical things than others are, but just because I say something critical doesn't mean I don't respect someone. Like I definitely respect Iron Gate and I respect Azamat. I think they're both highly, highly influential people in the scene, right? But in the case of Iron Gate, because they are the creators, it shows me like I don't want to do the things that they've done. I don't want to. Their relationship with their community is kind of weird. It's so not to get political, but it's very woke, if that makes sense. And I'm not someone who identifies as liberal or conservative or any of that nonsense. But I really hate this one thing that people in the Western world do, where they are obsessed with being polite, like completely obsessed with being polite, to the point where they will not say something that's really important to say because they're worried about offending someone or hurting their feelings. But they don't realize that in not doing that, they hurt everyone's feelings a lot in the long run. So like, I would say Iron Gate is a great example of that. They try and tiptoe around things and they try and be respectful of people and be inclusive, but in doing so, they have made huge rifts in the Valheim community. And that's why, like, the average Valheim player, they have mistrust towards mods. There's a distaste. Whereas if you talk to the average, like, Skyrim player or Morrowind player or Oblivion player, they're not going to be like, ew, mods, ew. You gotta be ew, that's gonna ruin the game. Ew! Like, it's just weird. Like, why are so many Valheimers like that regarding mods? Well, I'll tell you. It's because the developers have that attitude with mods. Iron Gate themselves has that attitude. There's a lot of weirdness. If you share mods and things in their group, you get, like, banned, you get kicked out. It's messy. There's a lot of, like, kind of hypocrisy and double standards, you know? Like, for example, you're not supposed to make money off of Valheim, right? Makes sense. I mean, you're not supposed to sell your mods, but, like, I make YouTube videos about Valheim. I'm literally trying to make money off of Valheim. So am I no good to Iron Gate? Is everything I've done wrong because I try and get people to buy Valheim servers that I earn a commission on? Does that mean I'm not worth it? You see what I mean? It's like there's just this weirdness with them, and they haven't dealt with that properly. And they sort of said they would. They said they were going to be transparent about what they're updating and what they're doing, and that they're going to be all different, and then nothing changed. And it's the same very slow, not transparent development style that we had before, which is fine. I never expected them to change. It's just like, I'm used to this because this is how people in my country are. Because I'm from, like, a very democratic blue family in the United States, and I was exposed a lot to that attitude. And they're that kind of person is very much polite above all else. So they will not call you out if you are rude, because that's impolite to do so. So they'll just, you know, not say anything. And it's like, I get it. I understand how, like, when you're being professional, you gotta be like that to a certain point. But on the other hand, like, if you're having serious issues in the game you're making in the community because of your refusal to talk about touchy subjects, like, I don't know if that's a good thing, personally. I don't know. It could be a huge problem, right? Like, not being able to talk about something and not having that dialogue, yeah, it's a problem. That's a big problem, you know what I mean? And so, like, for me, the issues and the things I want to do with a game, it's not even like the game itself. The only thing about Valheim that I think, like, game-wise is problematic is the networking. The other issues, I don't think are even about Valheim. It's about the management style. It's about the decisions that are made. It's about the way of being anti-controversial, the way of being afraid of pissing people off. This is something that, like, destroys games. It's very problematic. It neuters game design companies. It makes them afraid of every little change because they spend too much time looking at Reddit and reading comments and that kind of thing. You know, it's definitely a trap that a lot of designers fall into. And I don't know, maybe I'm just babbling. Maybe this is just some cringe rant. It's going to age horribly. Now, I want to be proved wrong. You know, that's one of the reasons I talk publicly about this stuff. Like, I want someone to point out something I didn't know that shows that I'm wrong. I want to be wrong. You know, I want Iron Gate to release 1.0 in Deep North and then it bring back a bunch of players and Valheim starts kicking off on YouTube and, you know, there's more traffic and all of the content creators have a chance again because, like, no one can afford to make content about Valheim except me. and other people who don't need money. Like, basically. And like I can do it because I know that technically all I need in life is like a couple $100 more, and then I'll be fine. So I know that like I don't need to earn thousands more dollars in the future to figure everything out. I just need to earn like $200 or $300 more, and then I'm set. And that's totally reasonable. I can get that by making more YouTube tutorials about Valheim. I just need to make them relatable to those normal players. Right now, I'm not relatable. I make way too niche content that is super high level. It's like too into game design and abstract and like, yeah, like, I mean, we come from this world of like, we can change anything about Valheim that we want. So like, if you don't like that a certain thing drops, you can make it drop something else. You know what I mean? We're used to this flexibility. These people aren't. They have no idea about that kind of stuff. They get in arguments over the best and worst ways to do something are, and both sides of the argument are about something that doesn't even exist in the game anymore, that's from the culture from like 2 or 3 years ago, or from the pandemic era. Like, if you look at the things people argue about, sometimes it is shockingly ignorant. Like, they don't know the history of the game, they don't know how the features work. It's totally normal. So I have to figure out how to like reach them if I really want to expand and grow. And like I don't know what's gonna happen with like I know that personally, me for example, I can be critical of Iron Gate sometimes, but I'm only able to behave that way because I don't have a relationship with them. Like, if I talked to them sometimes, if they did one single interview every now and then, you know, an interview every 2 years or whatever, I mean, obviously I wouldn't feel the way that I do, you know? But, you know, do I want to talk to people who like might not want to even have the conversation because they're afraid of things that might be asked or come up? You know, like I just don't know how to even handle that. Because like I can reach out obviously, but I feel like it's almost not right to until I've really like let go of any kind of frustration. And I'm still kind of frustrated with Iron Gate. Like I'm definitely less frustrated than I was before, but I just like I used to buy this notion that yeah, players are just ungrateful. Iron Gate's done so many amazing things, but it's really not that simple. That's an oversimplification of a very complicated situation that has a lot of forces and factors at play. And ultimately, you know, Iron Gate has made mistakes, but by idolizing them, we do them a disservice because we further these contrasts in the player groups. And like, it's sad for me, to be honest. It's sad seeing how the average Valheim player isn't just a person who doesn't use mods. They actively think mods will ruin their game. They're scared of mods. And why do they feel that way? Because that's Iron Gate's attitude, you know? Iron Gate is also scared of mods. They're scared of the things they don't understand. And they're so busy and they have so many things that they're doing that they don't really know what's happening in the mod scene, you know? So they probably feel quite intimidated by it. Because a lot of the modders are better developers, like in all honesty, than the Iron Gate staff is. So, like, obviously that can be intimidating for people. And it's kind of frustrating, right? Especially if the attitudes are one of fighting or saying Iron Gate does dumb things or attacking them. That's why it's like as much as I criticize Iron Gate, I don't think there's any benefit to telling Iron Gate the criticisms because from my perspective, they already all know about it. So it's not like it would help. And that's why it's like what Iron Gate needs from us is like love and support, but I mean like actual love and support, not like the superficial bullshit where we just blindly idolize people. I mean, like, actually, like, being able to talk about problems in a respectful way where you show that, like, yeah, we feel this way, but we still love you. We love what you do, and ultimately, like, we are going to support you. Um, I feel like if Iron Gate was exposed more to that kind of attitude, they would be more open with us, you know? But at the same time, maybe they want this and they're in some publishing deal that stops them, you know what I mean? Like, I don't know. I don't know how to explain it, but it reminds me a lot of government mismanagement, to be honest, because there's like mistakes that governments make where they'll make a mistake and then they try and cover up the mistake. But in covering up the mistake, they make a lot of ambiguity that makes nobody trust them. And let's say you wanted to help them lie successfully, they should have just done nothing in the first place and not tried to cover it up and just said nothing and ignored the issue. That would have been better for them, basically. And I think that happens a lot as well with Iron Gate. Like, they sort of don't explain certain things, and that leaves a lot of room for ambiguity and conspiracy to form, you know? And that gets really problematic really quickly. Did I go... Am I on the right path? Did I just run down the wrong path? I think I may have gotten so distracted that I just ran down a random path. I don't actually remember. Where is this? No, I know where that is. This path is tripping me out, to be honest. Seeing this right here, I'm like, what the hell? Why am I seeing that path? Seeing this makes me feel like I went the wrong way. I don't even remember what path this is. Oh! No, this is a bridge that goes over... Okay. Maybe it's right and I just missed it. I don't even know, to be honest. I could just be running in the wrong direction. Either way, I actually have to end the stream pretty soon. I've been going for like 3 hours now, so I'll need to call it quits and then come back again on Wednesday. Welcome, Fire, welcome. You caught me right at the end there. I ranted a lot. I did a bunch of things, and I'm now running the wrong way down this path. So is this like the west? Maybe this is the west one? I guess I'll see. I'll figure it out. Anyway, I gotta go now. Thanks for watching, everybody. I hope that you have a good time. You can check out Enigma Mode if you want. Anybody can check it out. All that you have to do is find it on R2 Modman by searching for Enigma Mode. I'll flip this over real quick for you. As you can see here, you could get it on Thunderstore, or you could just download it in R2. You can just play it on single player, put it on a server. If you do play it on single player, you may also consider using the Enigma Mode Quality of Life mod pack. So that's this one here. 1 second. Gotta let my web page loads. The East Path, yeah. Yeah, as soon as I saw that other thing, I was like, I'm doing something wrong here. So here you go. You can get this Enigma Mode Quality of Life thing as well. This just adds some other client-side mods that make like inventory management easier, give you first-person mode so you can do this kind of thing, etc., etc. Also give you quick slots, which I think are all really important things in Valheim. I don't think they ruin the experience. To be honest, you could also double your inventory size. I don't think it'll ruin the experience for you. There's a lot of other mods you could use as well. But yeah, if you want to check those out, you are free to. And until then, bye-bye. You can also play with us on Path of Magic, which is the public server I'm playing on right now that has Enigma Mode running and a bunch of other people who play Enigma and know the mechanics. So if you do something, you can ask them and they'll help you learn how it works. All right, everybody. Have a great day, okay? Bye-bye.